Hani Shafai has big dreams for Rapid City and beyond, and he envisions a community where all people are able to sustain a living wage, work in jobs they love, and thrive in their communities. He's worked tirelessly to transform industries and provide sustainable employment and housing opportunities for young professionals entering the workplace and for veterans and vulnerable adults in need of economical housing solutions. Through an understanding of human connections, innovative design, and commitment to improving the community, Shafai has created a process that puts humanity first. Through his philanthropy, he continues to influence the state's population. He is working to fight homelessness in the Black Hills area by helping establish the One Heart Transformation Campus and expanding services at the Cornerstone Rescue Mission. His efforts also include many community healthcare and education projects.
Good evening. What a great honor. And I can't believe it. You put me behind the comedian and the broadcaster, and I barely speak English. What's the deal? I was probably had the most unique life among all of us, and I feel that I'm blessed. And what a great honor to be here standing before you. To be here, it took a system of support. You could call it mentorship, you could call it anything you want, but it is how we get to where we want to be. We cannot ignore the efforts and the support of those who supported us. Number one, my parents. I grew up in a family in which, my mom was taking care of the farm, my dad was a teacher, in a town where camels and donkeys were the only means of transportation. And I remember that we had no power, the floor was dirt floor, our windows were made of plastic, and the blankets made our doors. That's how we lived, no matter if it was winter or summer. Of course, winters back there are no match to winters in South Dakota. I was fortunate enough that my folks were very supportive, and they all wanted all of us kids to have good education. I was fortunate enough to go to an engineering school for 2 years in a Catholic school just north of Jerusalem. And that's where I met my second mentor after my dad. And it was my professor for math, Professor Jack Anderson from Hill City, South Dakota. And may he rest in peace. He was really the man who influenced my life second after my dad. My dad taught me hard work and the spirit and the values of giving back, because he gave probably the last dime in his pocket to somebody who needs it, even though he probably needed it, but he knew that he could always make another dime. And that's the value that he has given to us children. After my college was closed due to political reasons, Jack was, kind enough and philanthropist enough that he gave me a check for $500 and told me to go to the U.S. consulate whenever I'm ready to come to America. And what a dream. I never thought I'll make it. I always dreamt of being an engineer, but coming to America was the ultimate dream that I thought I'll never be able to do. And I made it with the help of Jack to the School of Mines, and there I found a place that was at the beginning full of fear, but after a couple of months, it became easy. The professors were really helpful and kind. The students were basically family, and you made a lot of friends. Unfortunately, the political things from back home caught up with me, and my passport was not renewed, so I could not renew my visa in the United States, and I could not go home because my passport was not being reviewed. So therefore, I went to Chicago. I worked as a busboy, dishwasher, taxi driver, and it ended up being a new experience that I never expected. And after I got my papers worked, through a refugee passport, I came back home to South Dakota, where my teachers and my third group of mentors, Dr. Ramakrishna, Dr. Thomas Probson, Dean Howard Peterson, and many others that really paved the way for me and mentored me on how to become a better engineer and how to think of others and what have you, which added to my mentorship program that I had with my father and Jack after him. Most of them are already in the heavens. Dr. Ram is still alive. May God give him good health. After graduation, I worked in engineering. I worked for the city of Rapid City for a while. And after a while, public service becomes, really not a challenge, but it limits our ability to give back to the community and really conduct public service properly. So I thought, my wife and I just had, of course, I forgot to mention my lovely wife that we met at the School of Mines. Sorry, honey, we met when I was going to School of Mines and she was going to National College. And we got married shortly after graduation, and we were blessed later on with our twins, Sharaf and Yasmin. We're really proud of you you kids. You're doing a great job. When we had the twins, I thought, well, I'll help my wife with the kids, so I started Dream Design. And I wanted to work out of the house. And after about 2 months, I had papers piled up all over the living room and the extra bedroom. I was kicked out of the house. So, and one of my friends, of course, Doyle asked us, he's always involved in a lot of things I didn't realize. Larry was going to mention Doyle, but Doyle was one of my first customers, and he was kind enough to rent me a room in which I had 2 employees. One of them is Renee Catherine. She is still an employee with me 25 years later, and Kent Thornhill was the second one. I worked during the day with one shift, and during the night with another employee, and we expanded fast. I'm saying this not to really tell you how fast we grew, but about how to overcome the challenges that we faced. I mentioned that, my upbringing and the times that I was in Chicago, which is about maybe approximately 4 years, those were the challenging times. And for those who are homeless, I mentioned before, if you had a broken window, it's not the end of the world. And if you have, no bed by you sleep on a mattress, it's not the end of the world. It always could get better. It really does. But you just have to keep focused on your dream that you have, and you don't give up on it. All it takes is keeping focused, hard work, and having faith, and giving back to the community. And don't forget those who mentored you along the way, and try to mentor others and pay back to the future generations by mentoring them and teaching them the values that you have gained from others. And that's what life is all about. I am really grateful for the South Dakota Hall of Fame and its board and its staff for giving me such a great honor. And I'm really grateful to be blessed, grateful to God to be blessed to be in a welcome state in South Dakota. To be here standing before you speaks volumes about the strength of our country and the diversity that exists within our country. Most of us take it for granted, so please don't take it for granted, because this is a great nation. All it takes is us doing what we need to do and follow the good teachings that our mentors have given us. Thank you very much for this great honor.
So many wonderful stories, but we have just one left tonight.